Hello everyone! Welcome to PST channel, Game Stories, Movie Style, for your busy day. Today we will travel through space and time to save the future from darkness once again. Please make sure to check our previous chapters first, because the story continues from there. In the episode 2, they have divided into 3 parts, in which Aldo will face even bigger god-tier deity. Let's begin the summary of Another Eden, Tales from the East. Return of the Goddess of Time, Volume 1 and 2. If you're ready, take your cat on a time-traveling adventure.
Part 2, Tales from the East. Return of the Goddess of Time.
After the battle with the ogres ended, peace returned to the land, but it was short-lived. One morning, Aldo woke up in his room in Baruoki and discovered that the village statue had transformed into a statue of the Goddess of Time. Strangely, history had also been altered, with the Eastern Alliance ruling over the Midlands Kingdom for the past 3 years. Realizing that something had warped the timeline, Aldo and his companions knew they had to act before they were swept away by this distorted history. Their mission led them across the ocean to the eastern continent of Gulia to uncover the truth. With permission from King Midlands, Aldo and his party boarded a passenger ship heading east and eventually arrived at the eastern continent of Gulia. Alongside Aldo were not only his usual companions but also several friends from the east, including both free characters and those from the gacha system. Some of these friends were returning to their homeland, though for some, their homes no longer existed. Upon reaching the port city of Aana, located in the Land of Me, Aldo found himself in a vibrant and unfamiliar setting. Although Aldo tried to stay low-key, his distinct appearance and that of his friends made them stand out, quickly drawing the attention of the townsfolk. The villagers approached Aldo's group with a request. They needed help dealing with monsters that had recently taken over the cat shrine. Aldo and his companions agreed to assist and set off toward the shrine. Additionally, they were approached by 2 siblings, Mika and Kayasuk, who asked for help finding Kayasuk's lost wallet. He explained that he had lost it while feeding a stray cat named Jiro at the cat shrine. Aldo promised to recover the wallet. When they arrived at the cat shrine, they found Jiro, the stray cat mentioned by Mika and Kayasuk, under attack by monsters. Aldo's group managed to save Jiro, who, in turn, had been protecting Kayasuk's wallet all along. With the wallet secured, the group turned their attention to the monsters terrorizing the shrine. The monsters turned out to be none other than Ogre Baron and his beloved hound, who had gained partial power from the cat god. Despite this, Aldo and his team defeated Ogre Baron. Before leaving, Ogre Baron bid farewell to Aldo, promising to meet again on the battlefield someday. Just then, Takarashi Nanjiro, an emissary of the cat deity, appeared before Aldo and his team to express gratitude for driving out Ogre Baron. He also granted them the cat deity's blessing. Afterward, the group returned to Aana to give Kayasuk his wallet. Mika and Kayasuk expressed their heartfelt thanks. However, just as the group parted ways with the siblings, they heard Mika scream. Rushing toward the source of the scream, Aldo's team discovered that Mika and Kayasuk had been kidnapped by bandits, who had retreated to the temple ruins. Aldo and his party hurried to rescue them. When they arrived at the temple ruins, they uncovered the truth. The bandits were actually demons disguised as humans. After a fierce battle, Aldo's group managed to defeat the demons and save the siblings. However, just as they thought the danger had passed, the Jiraiya fortress, the demons' headquarters, appeared before them along with Suzaku, the demon leader. Suzaku and the remaining demons managed to escape. Following the rescue, Aldo and his party were invited to the mansion of Mika and Kayasuk. It turned out to be the home of a wealthy merchant and owner of the Ikaria store, their father, Ryunishin. He expressed his deep gratitude to Aldo's group and provided them with a letter of introduction to meet Lord Genshin, the Lord of Me, with whom he had business ties. Using this letter, Aldo's party gained access to Kurosagi Castle, where they met Genshin. Through their discussions, they learned that Genshin had been requested by the Land of Shin to form an alliance. The Land of Me and the Land of Shin had joined forces in an effort to make the West their vassals, a revelation said to be inspired by the Goddess of Time. That night, while staying at Kurosagi Castle, Aldo and his team were pulled into an illusionary world created by a masked monster. After battling and defeating the illusion, a phantom appeared before them, declaring their intention: they will not let the goddess of time open the doors to paradise. The phantom then vanished. The next morning, Aldo's party set out for the land of Shin to investigate further. The land of Shin was a bustling and enchanting region. However, the local military was actively strengthening its forces to combat the specters that plagued the area. Aldo's group was granted an audience with Garnilai, the empress of the land of Shin. Although they were strangers, the empress entrusted them with a mission to capture the Spectre Palace, a fortress floating above the depths of the Kunlun Mountains. The party braved the harsh, stormy winter of the mountains, eventually reaching the Spectre Palace. There, they battled ghastly Mizuchi, one of the 3 great specters, and emerged victorious. Returning to the land of Shin, Aldo's group met with Empress Garnilai again, who was pleased with their success. As a reward, she granted them a letter of authorization to enter Mahora Lake, a holy and sacred site with restricted access. On their way to Mahora Lake, Aldo's group passed through Akarga, a small village where humans and demons lived together in harmony. The villagers were survivors from the land of Lo, which had been destroyed by the lands of Mi and Shin. Finally, Aldo's group reached the chapel of the goddess of time at Mahora Lake. There, they met the daughter of time, who revealed shocking truths. In this timeline, they appeared at the ideal moment in history to guide Garnilai into invading the West. It's all for the return of the goddess of time. According to the Book of the Time Dream, on the day of awakening from visions of the time dream, the goddess of time will return, and the door to paradise will open. Although Aldo didn't fully understand, Ogre Rankaram noted that the daughter of time had likely altered history to lead them here. Suddenly, a villager from Akarga arrived, reporting that the Jiraiya fortress had attacked soldiers from Mi and was now headed toward Aana, led by Suzaku. But Jiraiya Fortress has been stopped by the ancient sorceress supreme summoned by Tsubema Ninja Girl, who is one of Aldo's friends, and her elder sister Kamami. Aldo's group hurried to the Jiraiya Fortress and defeated Suzaku. However, before they could regroup, the Phantom reappeared, forcing them into a time wormhole. The wormhole transported Aldo and his companions to the Hoshiki forest, near Gadoro, Cyrus's homeland. Their next destination was clear: Gadoro awaited. As Aldo and his group traveled through Hoshiki forest, they encountered the forest's ruler, the sacred beast. However, something seemed off. It was behaving strangely, and attacked them without hesitation. In a moment of urgency, Fane called upon the power of Geo, merging with Altina to become Geo Anguirus, a mighty form that managed to subdue the sacred beast. After the battle, Fane and Altina returned to their original forms. Altina approached the sacred beast, comforting it. Then, unexpectedly, both Altina and the beast began to glow and disappeared together. the group pressed onward, arriving at Cyrus's homeland, Gadoro, in search of answers. They visited Cyrus's family home, where they met Himika's comb. Himika is the queen and spiritual leader of Gadoro. Himika, a priestess with mysterious foresight, had been a childhood friend of Cyrus. When Aldo's group tried to return a comb belonging to Himika, they found Tassel, one of Himika's disciples, studying magic under her guidance. Tassel informed them that Lady Himika had vanished and mentioned that the sacred beast, once a peaceful creature, had grown uncontrollable and was now at Dragon God's swamp. Determined to resolve the situation, Aldo's group ventured to the swamp, where they found the berserk sacred beast and Altina. Together, they worked to calm the beast and restore its peace. Once the sacred beast had returned to normal, Altina took it to a quiet place to rest, promising to rejoin Aldo and the group later. Shortly after, a man who had been trailing the group approached them. Upon recognizing Cyrus as an old friend, the man revealed that a fisherman in Zami village had recently found a mirror that might belong to Himika. The mirror, said to carry Himika's spiritual power, was a significant artifact. Aldo and his group decided to track down the fisherman. During the search for that fisherman, Cyrus encountered the spirits of Varn, his childhood friend, and Himika. He and Cyrus were students of the same sword school, and it was through his spirit that Cyrus was led to find the Tankiri Maru in the Hoshiki forest, hidden inside the Tree of Eternity. When they found him, the mirror's power had corrupted the fisherman, turning him into a monster. Aldo's group defeated the creature, restoring the fisherman to his senses and reclaiming the mirror. However, as Cyrus approached the mirror, it began to glow, opening a tear in spacetime that pulled in Aldo, his companions, and Altina, who had just rejoined them. The tear transported Aldo's group to the future, where they stumbled upon the ruins of the chapel of the goddess of time. From their surroundings, they deduced that they were in the eastern region near Mahora Lake. Exploring further, they discovered the Angle settlement, a place where beast folk continued to live on the surface despite the polluted world that had driven humans into the skies. In the settlement, they reunited with Kikyo, one of Aldo's friends, a human girl living harmoniously among the beast folk. Kikyo invited them to her home to rest and talk. While speaking with Kikyo, they learned of a mysterious cat that had recently appeared and seemed to be waiting for someone. When Aldo's group investigated, the cat led them to the Cat Shrine remnants, the ruins of the Cat Shrine from the present era, eroded by time and pollution. There, they discovered the cat's true identity. It was the sacred beast, which had survived for over 20,000 years since the era of antiquity. Though weakened, it had been waiting for Altina to arrive. In its final moments, the sacred beast entrusted its elemental life force to Altina, fulfilling its dying wish. Returning to the ruins of the Chapel of the Goddess of Time, the group encountered Mildy and Clughorn, Amy's old friends and members of the Chrono Clan who had played a role in the Ogre War. They were accompanied by Camlinage, the leader of the Chrono Clan and a business partner of Kikyo. The Chrono Clan was also investigating the ruins and the Goddess of Time, hoping to retrieve the Book of the Time Dream, which Kikyo had exchanged for supplies to aid Angle. However, the Imp Clan, a group trying to take over Angle, had stolen the book before Camlinage could retrieve it. The Aldo gang had to raid the Imp Clan's nest and encountered Zorm, the leader of the Imp Clan. Naturally, the Book of Time Dreams was in Zorm's hands, and he refused to return the book to the Aldo gang willingly. The Aldo gang had to defeat Zorm so they could get the book back. Aldo and his group recovered the book and returned it to Camlinage, who promised to share their findings with Aldo's group. Camlinage explained that to fully analyze the book, they would need to return to their sky fortress Iza. A floating city in the east distinct from the western floating city of Elzion. Camlinage found that it really is a device. Some kind of information access terminal. And it's more advanced than even the newest technology of this era. Although it is an ancient relic. What's more, they found an ancient record which was written, "On the day we wake from dreams of time, the goddess of time shall return, opening the door to paradise." Then, the one who stands against the darkness, the one chosen by time, the one with 3 names shall be made to speak. He shall speak the name of hope, bestowed by the fair maiden. But the unexpected happened. Synth ninjas from KMS raided and stole the book and fled, forcing the Aldo gang to rush after them to retrieve the book by traveling to the KMS Eastern Division. From Delamere, the mysterious man in charge of the KMS Eastern Division, the Aldo gang fought against Delamere's guardian spirit of the East. Miroku disaster. Of course, the Aldo gang was able to defeat it and successfully cornered Delamere. Then, they discovered that the book was not a book at all but a remote device created by Professor Kronos and linked to the main system of Xenodomain. It was protected by voiceprint authentication. Camlinage deduced that Aldo was the one chosen by time, as referenced in the ancient text, and that the device would respond to Aldo's voice. When Aldo spoke, the device activated. Project, another Eden activated. Time seemed to rewind, restoring the ruins of the chapel of the goddess of time. Standing before them was a familiar figure. Was it Madoka, the mother of Eden and Fane? However, the woman introduced herself as Himika, queen of the ancient land of Gadoro. She declared, "The time has come. The gates of paradise must open. The goddess of time must return." Before Aldo and his group could react, the chapel was swallowed by another tear in spacetime. Believing the chapel might reappear at Mahora Lake in the present, Aldo and his companions set out for their next destination. And so concludes Tales from the East, Return of the Goddess of Time, Volumes 1 and 2. And follow up at Story Summary Tales from the East, Return of the Goddess of Time, Volumes 3. In the next part, we will wrap up episode 2 of Another Eden, which actually takes a few years' time to complete, but we summarize for you in just 30 minutes. Please like and subscribe if you like this channel. This channel is created for people who want to experience game stories, but not have the time commitment. We'll cover classics like Final Fantasy 1-16, as well as mobile and MMO games. No need to spend hours learning their stories anymore, a quarter is all PST asks. Thank you and see you soon.